chapter 2 of the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, here are some things that I underlined, that I highlighted, I thought you might want to know from the chapter. So Frederick says the plantation that he lived on, it was 12 miles north of Easton, Talbot County. It bordered the Miles River. His slave master's name was Colonel Lloyd. It says all the slaves on the surrounding plantations and on that plantation came there once a month to receive a monthly allowance of food. They also got a year's worth of clothing. So for food every month, they will get 8 pounds of pork, or the equivalent in fish, and 1 bushel of cornmeal. For clothing, adults would get 2 shirts, 1 pair of trousers, pants, 1 pair of socks, and 1 pair of shoes. And that was for a whole year for an adult. Kids would get 1 long t-shirt. He said if this t-shirt happened to rip throughout the year, they would either go without t-shirt, naked, or just wear the ripped t-shirts. Many times he said the t-shirt wasn't replaced if it ripped. Slaves had no beds in their slave quarters. They were given a blanket and they slept on the floor. They probably put some hay on the floor or something like that. He said on the plantation there was an overseer. It's like the plantation manager. On his plantation, the guy's name was Mr. Severe. So he was very violent. He loved whipping slaves. His severe fit him perfectly, he said. He was also replaced by another overseer. His name was Mr. Hopkins. He says that he was a little bit nicer than Mr. Severe. In the morning, to wake the slaves up so they know how to go out to a field, they would ring a bell. And Mr. Severe would sit at the door of the slave quarters. And if he didn't if you didn't feel that you got up and woke up fast enough to get out to the field, he would severely whip you as you came out the door. He said on the plantation, there were all types of trades that were going on. Slaves were doing all types of trades, blacksmithing, carpentry, all types of different. His plantation that he was on was a big hub for business for the area. And the slaves were very skilled. They also had something called the big house. It's where the slave owner lived. Some slaves got to work in the big house. Some were chosen to work there. So that some slaves were happy. It appeared that they were happy to be working in the big house, so they would sing songs. But he said, Frederick was saying that the songs of the slaves were actually really sad. So although it appeared they were happy, they were singing because they were sad. He said slave songs expressed the sorrows of the heart of slaves. So that was chapter 2 of the narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, chapter 2. Peace.